Hello and welcome to your full body yoga flow to recharge. I'm Sarah and I'll be guiding us through our practice to shake things up, get out of our head and back into our body. This class is suitable for all levels and can be practiced whenever you need to reset and rebalance. So with all that said, come join me on the mat and we'll begin. So we're going to start today sitting on our heels. If that's comfortable for you, you can always place something in between your heels and your glutes, just for a little bit more extra padding if you need to. Sitting up near the front of your mat just to make a little bit more space towards the back. We're just going to begin resting your hands down onto your legs, closing your eyes, just taking a moment to arrive onto your mat. Soften your shoulder blades down your back. Allow your arms to be heavy. And notice the connection between the ground and your body. I'm going to use these next few moments to let go of our day so far or the day ahead and bring ourselves into the present moment, connecting with our breath and connecting with our body. Notice the pace of the breath, the depth, and the quality of the air as it enters and leaves your body. Noticing any discomfort. Let the breath allow you to release and let go. And gently begin to blink your eyes open. Bring yourself back into the mat, back into the room. Bring your left hand behind you, planting it onto the ground. Begin to sweep the right arm up and overhead while we stretch the body open. Maybe lifting the hips away from the heels, pressing the hips towards the sky, opening up. Getting a lovely stretch through the front of the body. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Send the hips down. Swap sides. Right hand comes back. Left arm drops towards the back as you pick up the hips. Engage through the glutes to lift the hips higher. Stretch through your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Once again, either side. Left hand plants. Pick up the hips. Lovely, full front of the body opening. And dropping back down. Swap sides. Left arm. Open up. And release. Lovely, coming back down from here, making our way to our first tabletop into our downward facing dog. So bring your wrists in line under your shoulders and your knees in line under your hips. I'm going to tuck our toes under and begin to hover the knees off the mat so you can send your hips towards the back of the room. Going up into our first down dog of the day. Backs of the legs might be quite tight. Keep the knees as deeply bent as you need to. Fingertips spreading nice and wide. Shoulder blades drawing away from each other. Begin to drop the weight into one heel at a time. Waking up the backs of the legs. Bring in a little bit more movement. Bring more space, more awareness into the tight areas of the body. Coming to stillness in your down dog. Pressing the hips up and back towards the back of the room. Going to begin to draw the right leg away from the mat
bending into the right knee. So we're opening up deep into that hip joint. Pressing the heel towards the left glute. Squeezing into the glutes to see if you can lift the knee even higher. Inhale, square the hips, bring them back to center. Draw the right knee into the belly. As you hover forward, shoulders come in line over the wrists, and step the right foot to the outside of the hands and drop the knee down, coming into our lizard pose. Dropping the knee down, allowing the hips to become heavy, maybe rocking side to side, just to warm up the groin area deep into the hips, creating more space, more movement. Maybe coming down onto the elbows if you have enough space. You can continue with that swaying motion if that feels right for you. Last exhale, walk the hands back up onto the mat and drop the right knee out to the side. So you're dropping the right foot open, so the sole of the feet peels away from the mat and you're onto the razor sharp side of the right foot. We're going to begin to drop the left hip down towards the mat as you draw the right hand to point towards the back of the mat, pointing towards the left toes. Dropping the hip down, feeling the wonderful opening through the left side body. It's a really deep hip opener, so don't worry how far you come down. Just notice the sensations, noticing those feelings. Connect with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, gently bring the right hand back around and bring the foot back up to center. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under of the left leg and step the right foot to meet the left back into our down dog. Walking through the hips, drop one heel at a time. Notice how the left side feels from the right. And we'll take it to the opposite side. Begin to lift the left leg away from the mat. Drop the heel towards the glutes. Picking that knee up, opening up into the hips. Opening into the hamstrings. Can you get that knee even higher? Squeezing through the glutes. Stay with your breath. Begin to square off the hips. Draw the knee into the belly. Hover forward so the shoulders come in line over the wrists. Step the left foot to the outside of the mat and drop the right knee down. Allow the hips to become heavy. Maybe bring that swaying motion to this side if you did it on the last. Creating more space, more movement. Hips can be really tight areas of the body. We hold a lot of the day's stress and tension. Come down off the elbows if you want to, if you did on the other side. It can be really nice to work and find more space here. Letting go with each exhale. Last couple of breaths here. And then we'll walk our hands back up onto the mat and we'll drop our left knee open so we come up onto the side of the foot. So the sole of the foot is peeling away from the mat. Planting the right hand under the right shoulder. Drop the right hip down as you lift the left arm up and overhead. Fingertips point towards the back of the room. See if you can drop the hips even deeper. One of my favorite stretches for getting into the outside of the hip. Super deep. Stay with your breath. Breathing into the right lung, creating space. Inhale, sweep the arm. and overhead. Bring the foot back in. It's back in line underneath the knee. I'm going to tuck the toes under, but this time we're going to step the right foot up to meet the left, up into a forward fold. So tuck the toes under, lift the knee off the mat, step the right leg to meet the left, coming up into a deep forward fold. Now from here, we want to keep our knees as deeply bent so our chest can actually rest down deep onto our legs. Our feet and heels touch, and we're folding deeply over the legs. Bring your hands behind your lower back, interlace your fingers as you begin to draw your arms away, reaching the knuckles up towards the sky. Open deeply into the shoulders. Breathing here. Begin to straighten the left leg as you bend deeper into the right leg. So your right shoulder meets the right knee. Begin to come back to center. Bend the left knee. Drop the left shoulder. Maybe bring the gaze up to the right. Very deep hamstring stretch. Also opening the shoulders and the chest. Bend into the right. Drop the right shoulder as you straighten the left leg. And once more on the opposite side. Drop the left shoulder. Lovely. Come back to center. Release the hands down onto the mat. I'm going to come down into a toe squat from here. So bend into your knees as you send your sitting bones to rest onto your heels. Sitting up nice and tall. Dropping the knees down onto the mat. Lift and lengthen through the chest. If this is a little bit too tight for your toes, you can always just come to sitting on your heels. You're going to begin to open the arms, open through the chest, bend the elbows. Going into cactus from here. Inhale. As you exhale, identify the right arm from the left. Draw the arms together, palms face each other. Drawing the right arm under the left. Wrap the arms around, palms touch, or take hold of the wrist. Or bring the arms to hug across the body. Coming into our eagle arms, lift the arms up and away from your face. Drop the shoulders down. Deep stretch for the toes. Deep stretch for the shoulders. Stay with your breath. This is challenging. But keep that awareness on the sensations inside the body. Don't allow yourself to get too distracted. See if you can keep that awareness with the breath. And release the bind and cross the arms. Draw them back open into cactus. Identify right from left. Arms come back together. This time the left comes onto the right. Find the bind. Draw the arms up and away from the face. And breathe. Such a great pose for bringing more circulation down into the toes. If you wear uncomfortable shoes, or you spend a lot of your days on your feet, this is nice to get the blood circulating, getting it pumping through the body. And lovely, well done. Release the arms down. Bring the hands down onto the mat and tuck the toes, tapping out the tops of the feet. Lovely. Bring the feet out in front of you, so we're sitting long into staff pose on our mat. Toes peeled back towards your face. Hands are back behind you. Sitting up nice and tall. Find length through the spine. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and overhead. Finding more length through the right side of the body, up into the armpit, up through the fingers. Using your left hand just to push and lift you even higher. Trying to keep the calves, the legs pressing firmly into the mat. So it's a full body engagement in this pose. Inhale. Exhale, release the right arm down behind you. Left arm, reach up and overhead. Looks so simple, but is quite challenging. Lifting up, creating more space through the spine, through the side of the body. And release once more, either side. Right arm reaches up and overhead. This might not look like much while we're in the pose, but it is super intense because it's a full body engagement. Our legs are switched on, our arms, our core is keeping us sitting up nice and tall. And release the right arm, last side, left. Reach the left arm up, point and reach with the fingers. Can you grow even more? Last couple of breaths. And lovely, softly release. Bring the hands onto the mat. Gonna make our way down onto our backs. Plant both feet onto the mat. Gently does it, coming down. Draw the knees into the belly, embracing the legs. Lengthen your spine on the mat. Tucking your chin in. And plant the left foot down onto the mat. Just taking hold of the right knee and drawing it in even more. Feeling that compression in the right hip flexor. Maybe extend the left leg long away from you. Toes point back. And we'll swap legs, plant the left foot. And we'll take hold of the left knee, draw it into the belly. Squeezing it in, trying to find a little bit more space to draw that knee in on the exhale. Maybe extend the right leg long. Toes peeled back, keeping your calf firmly pressed down into the mat. Great pose for digestion. And bring the right knee back up. Draw both legs into the belly. Draw the arms across, take hold of opposite elbow, and squeeze in. I'm going to wrap our right leg around the left. So wrapping deeply. Maybe taking hold of the knees or the outer edges of the feet. So you want to draw the feet away from each other and down. And a nice stretch into the IT band, just to make sure we're releasing, we're not holding any tension. And we'll release, uncross over the opposite side. Draw the knees in, take hold of where you can. Find that stretch. Inhale. And exhale, release. And cross the legs. Bring the legs long on your mat as you make your way into your Shavasana. Arms rest along the body. Feet flop open. Take up as much space as you need to. Shoulders are nestled under the body. Coming into our corpse pose, we completely let go and relax. This is where we reap the benefits of our class. I encourage you to stay here as long as you can and soak up all that our class has given us. And this is where I'll leave you for today. Thank you very much for joining me for our class. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.